computer. All right, good morning, stress and anxiety, folks. We are on our session number 5. And so thank you, Lillian, for being able to be here live and in person on the Zooms. And we have other folks that are not feeling well this morning, and other folks that are at the beach or recovering from outpatient surgery. Somebody's really busy with their work schedule right now, so we are feeling stress and anxiety. And today's session is to really think about how those two relate to one another and what can we do accordingly to help ourselves with stressful or anxious situations. So Lily and I were just catching up with how we both feel, and take a moment to really do that before you get started with this. Like, so if you need to pause the video, because we took a moment to try that, and to talk it out. And Lillian was reminding me that, part of her home practice is she's working on mantras to remind herself to honor her body and to be appreciative. And she's I hope this is okay to share, Lillian. Are you okay? She said they feel empty right now. That doesn't feel like she can mean it when she says it. But we talked about, y'all, the power of getting it done, just saying it, just doing it, because what you think about, you bring about. And so you speak it into the universe and it'll become, what it needs to be. And don't give up, I guess is what I'm saying. Don't stop doing the things are the right tools, because then that's when we spiral further down that rabbit hole. And that's why we have each other. We're a community to keep each other lifted and strong. So I did want to do a screen share real quick this morning to just briefly look at the difference. And Lillian, please chime in with your expertise and knowledge. But when you think about anxiety and stress, many of you during our times that we talked with each other individually, you said it's the same thing. But there was a couple of you that said, no, one thing is a little different than the other. Like, I don't have stress in my life right now, but I still feel very anxious, so let's look at that. So this is saying from Healthline, an online resource, that stress is the demands based on your brain and your physical body, and it's any event or any scenario that makes you feel frustrated or nervous. It can get you going, right? Anxiety is a feeling. So anxiety is one of those feelings that is in the family of fear and worry and unease. And when it occurs as a reaction to stress, it can also happen without any obvious trigger. And anxiety and other resources I was checking out was it stays with you maybe, versus stress kind of comes and goes, like highs, lows. And well, many of us though also live in situations where stress is high a lot of the time. But it says both stress and anxiety involve these following things, which is why we say it all together. Trouble sleeping, problem with eating, difficulty concentrating, and focusing, tension in your muscles, and being really easy to get angry, just having that irritability. So we're all going to experience it. And like we said last week, it's not about getting rid of it. It's more about how do we manage the world in which we live, the life in which we live, and how do we make our best choices with it. If you don't manage it, it can interfere with daily life and it can take a toll on your health. I was under some stress on Monday, and I don't know this to be true. And somebody, Lillian, maybe you know more about this, but I had a stressful thing happen and then immediately followed it by another stressful thing. And all of a sudden I felt like I had gnats in my eye, on my left eye. And unfortunately, there were no gnats in the building. And so what I realized is, I think what I've got is a floater now that goes across this eye, and I have an eye appointment that was at the end of the month already, and my doctor just said that sounded like a floater, and yes, talk to your optometrist. And so I got the feeling that it's not an emergency, kind of thing. It's not like something's detached or something like that. Lillian, do you know more about that kind of?
I mean, it sounds like it could be a floater, so it's good
Yeah.
you'll get it checked
Yeah,
out.
but
Yeah.
I don't know if that could be brought on by stress, but your
Many
body
things can.
yes, I said, you start to fall apart in all kinds of weird ways whenever you can't, carry the load that is being laid on your back, right? So
Yeah.
other symptoms that we want to think about with stress and anxiety, dizziness. I don't know if anybody's had that. Headaches, also lots of sweating. I can tell that when I get in front of a group, right? I'll get really hot and bothered. You're just that feeling of overwhelm, feeling of restlessness, and maybe the heart rate speeds up. And then anxiety can involve those symptoms, which is why we say them and lump them together. But it also can add into this feeling of impending doom, like there's might as well not do anything because it's coming no matter what, right? Tingling or numbness or just brain fog. And so these things cross over with other things that we're going through, like perimenopause and just COVID, post-COVID residue. I mean, there's these things cross over, but that gives you a little bit different, a little bit idea. But let's look at the differences then between. So the difference in between is the presence of a specific trigger. And so stress is tied to a specific situation. Once it's resolved, so does the level of stress. But that's not the case with anxiety. It doesn't always tie to a specific stressor, which really speaks to one of our particular members who was saying, I'm retiring and I don't have anything on my plate, but I still feel this anxiousness inside of me. And she was one of those people that talked about how um how to that one thing does not connect to the other in her situation. So we want to think about today what we can do, and if you're interested in this website I can definitely share it with you, but let's get to moving because moving is where it's all about. And so we'll begin with the breath today, and we'll sit up nice and tall, because the really neat thing about stress, about trauma events, about anxiety is that the same tools are going to work, even though it may be stress, even though it may be anxiety, even though it may be related to a traumatic experience, whatever it is. These tools of breathing and moving and gently stretching and loving on yourself are going to work. All right. So we're going to start with the breath. So breathe in deeply through the nose and then let it go. And then breathe in through the nose and let it go out the nose or mouth. Yogi's choice. And take one more big deep breath. And I tend to close my eyes when I do this. And it's because I think it helps me really focus within. But you do your thing. I'm over here doing mine. Yeah, I'm over here wearing a chicken hat today. To remember a great story about a chicken that does surfing, and she can't do it and she can't catch the wave and she scrambles and she gets discouraged and she has to sit on the shore. I love this line in the book, till her courage thickens and she can get back into it. And actually when she does, she surfs better than anybody else on the shore. So yay for the story of a chicken that had courage, and yay for the idea of surfing these ups and downs we experience with our stress and with our anxiousness. All right, now roll into your breath work with your switch breath, your alternate nostril breathing, remembering all the ways you can work your nose. Take a moment just to log how that felt. Was there stuffiness in one side of your nose or the other? Is the pollen getting to you this time of year? Just notice the quality of your breath. Log in your mind about how you feel right now, and if that was helpful in bringing some calm and peace into your system, into your world. And if it did, remind yourself that it's an excellent tool that didn't cost you anything. It didn't take up a lot of space. You didn't need anybody to help you get it done, and that you can do it anytime because you always have access to your breath. All right. We're going to now move into where people hold tension when they experience their stress and anxiety in their own bodies. And so, one of the places that is a new place for me is my jaw. I had never, ever before experienced stress in my jaw. And I really think it's related to a medication that I started taking. But I will find myself, bashing my teeth together. You've heard people grinding their teeth together. So you can just gently, there's muscles, very strong muscles. In fact, some of the strongest muscles you got here are in your chompers, right? And so you can do gentle, like massage there, right around that ear, right around the where you feel the tightness. Sometimes you can even feel how hard the muscle is and where, but touch, remember the gift of touch. And even though it feels maybe better to have somebody else do massage work on you, you can do it yourself, to yourself, and it can be helpful. So just a gentle let go of things. There are things you can do around the eye. And I don't know, Lillian, are your hands pretty clean? Do you
Mhm,
feel?
mhm.
Okay, because yeah, don't do this if you don't have, you know, that you have cleaned your hands, because when you operate around the eye, you remember you can take things from the world and get them inside of you. So, but there are points that you can rub, and I'll send you the exact points. But there are 9 points around the eye, and you can kind of feel them in the bones where the bones have divots and things. But we're going to just start at the inner eye, and you're just going to gently do some circles around that eye, like right near the where maybe your eyebrow begins, depending on your body makeup. And you roll around and you move to the center of the eye. And now I can feel a divot there in the bone of the skull. You might feel that too. And you roll and roll and roll. And then you go towards more the outside, the end of the eyebrow. And you're just going around. And believe it or not, this is something that's supposed to help relax jaw muscles and relax the jaw. And you might even feel, what is your jaw doing as you do this? Mine was gently relaxed and not. You can go down under the eye now, and there are, like I said, I think there are 9 points. We'll just rub 6 today as we go more under the eye. And you kind of feel divots. I remember when we practiced this before, but I don't have the book that we had, but I took pictures of the book that the instructor had when we were doing this. And then you would do that, of course, on both eyes, but always make sure that the hands are clean.
And be mindful of long nails too. If your nails are long,
Oh,
you probably should not do this.
oh, thank you. Thank you, Lillian. My nails are never long, so I didn't even stop to think about that challenge.
Yeah.
Oh, good point. All right, roll on down around this eye. And again, you can take the proper time when you do it, to for your own toolbox. But just in the sake of time, we'll just kind of wrap it up here. But know that that's one tool. All right, another thing that when we were massaging this muscle, you can also rub on the ears very gently. That is soothing to your body, to rub on the outside of the ear. Just gentle, gentle yank. All right. And then you work your jaw. So to do your jaw, try opening and closing it like a goldfish, right? Where you just open and close, open and close. And boy, can I feel how tight mine is because of the fact that I do close it. But yeah, work your goldfish. And I always try to keep the number 8 in mind, but there isn't a set number. You can do 12 times or whatever feels right. Then you're going to slide the jaw like you're unhinging it, like side to side, right? So over to the side and back. If you feel clicking, does anybody hear clicking? Do you, if you do, it means you need to do it, right? That popping sound is a result of the tightness. All right, so you slide side to side, and then another thing you can do is you can take the lower jaw and make circles with the chin. So it'll look like this. And that's the one I can really heal the popping with my jaw. And then you can go up and down the opposite way, around, up and down and around. So again, like the breath, you have access to those things. And, if you feel weird doing that in the world, you can always do that in the bathroom. But, it's a good, I find it reminds me, stop clenching, right? When I try to go back and forth or something like that with my jaw. All right, now let's move to the neck and the shoulder area. And Lily and this is my chicken yoga shirt. Look at that. Isn't that cool? So see, so surfer chick can do the chicken yoga. It could all be good. All right. So for the shoulders and neck, we've done things before where you take the ear towards the shoulder, but really concentrate on taking this ear up to the ceiling as you do it. And you don't get a same kind of crunchy feeling in the neck when you just cue yourself to take your ear to your shoulder. Feel what you feel in the opposite side. Remind yourself that you can gently lay your hand on your head if you need more stretch, or you can extend this opposite arm out, right? To feel more in your body. Knuckles, you can push through the knuckles. My neck is so tight that is too much for my body. So I just do the lifting of the ear up. Taking that chin to the chest or the sternum is awesome sauce. You're stretching out all these muscles back here in the back. And I learned now, Lillian, you'll have to help me with this. There's muscles that go right across here under the back of the skull, and that's called your occiput, right? Right here. Yes. So, if you can, one thing that feels so awesome in a massage is when the massage therapist maybe puts the fingers, or, underneath that, like you feel that and releases those muscles. So you can rock and roll on a foam roller, like right there, like in figure eights, or you can massage that area as well, or you can do traction with a belt. And I am not as good at that, and so before I share that with you, I think I'll make a video of it just so we don't get anybody hurt. But you can do it, and they use yoga walls at where I train, but you can do it with your door, and you can actually create the traction and just gently pull there, and that feels yummy on those muscles. All right, let's do our other side. So the opposite ear to the ceiling, so you don't walk out with one side feeling better than the other. Again, feel where the stretch goes. Does it go down? You feel how that, and again, concentrate on lifting the ear up and not necessarily reaching this ear to the shoulder, because you don't want to crunch the opposite side. Another trick you can do here is gently look into the pocket that you don't have on your shirt probably, but look down, and that gets another angle on that muscle. Lots of muscles back there, like, right? Is that scalenes, Lillian?
So I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. You don't need to pay attention to all the words. Scalenes, are those scalene muscles?
Skinny muscles.
All right, back to the chin, to the chest, and imagine a weight like an anchor pulling down the chin so that you can release and really feel these muscles stretch or relax or unknot. And just for grins and giggles, take the chin to the opposite collarbone and look in the pocket that you don't have on this side so that we can get that stretch too. All the while you work, you are, breathing and letting the breast nourish and help with the relaxation. All right, you can lift your gaze now. Another place that people hold a lot of stress is in their back, right? A lot of stress happens there. So good things for the back are when we've done down dog is a great stretch. So you can do it on your mat, Lillian, or you can do it on the back of your chair. You can do down dogs regularly through the day. Um, you know, uh, you can do these after class, in during the middle of class. You can, push hips back away from the back of the table or the chair. You don't have to have a chair to get her done. You can do it on the wall, right? And you can feel that stretch in the back. Or you can do it on the mat. And that's if you have more space and time, to get down low. Right? You can do it here too. And that helps not only stretch out back muscles, but it stretches out legs. All right. If you're on the floor, go ahead and take your knees down and then push your hips back and find child's pose. So child's pose is the pose in yoga that is supposed to be the relaxing pose. Some people have such tight hips and it doesn't feel relaxing. So you find what does feel relaxing to you, but the idea here is that you can lean over the legs and reach out. You can prop up your head if your head is hanging. You can use blocks. If your hips are hanging here, you can prop that up too with pillows or blocks in yoga, and support it. Because the idea is you don't want it hanging. That creates stress, right? That creates work. So you want it supported and you want to feel relaxed. Another trick for some of us who have big gifts here, like I do, you want to take your knees wide and you can let your belly fall in between the legs. And sometimes that helps you to feel more stretch in your back. If you are sitting in a chair, the one that we've done when we've done our movement like the sun, where we drape ourselves over, is excellent to remember, right? Where you sit here, when we breathe in, and then we just reach over and we dangle over the side. Let the head be heavy and not hold any stress. And one final way, Lillian, to try today is called forward bend with the chair, cross-legged forward bend with the chair. And so I just want to illustrate it. You can put a blanket here or a pillow on the sit chair if I have a hard chair here. But the idea is that you sit cross-legged and you just lean into the chair. And you can like adjust it. Like I know my pillow's pretty fat there. And that might feel better. But again, make it work and be comfortable. And after you do it one way, then you would lift yourself up, cross your legs the opposite way, and do it again. Now, anytime in yoga that you do a folding, all right, a forward bend, flexion, you are stoking the nervous system to relax. I mean, it's like poking at it to say it's okay. It's soothing. You are soothing your body systems, your nervous system, because it is there to protect you, and so it is on high alert. and so you're saying everything's right with the world, it's okay, we're safe. And just like we said before, whenever you say to yourself, I'm thankful for my body, I honor my body, and it's empty words for you at the moment, you don't stop saying it, right? Because this is it, you are safe, you are okay, God is always with you. And when the hard times come, which they do, there's just no way about it, you have God with you, you have your breath to remind you God is with you always, and you have the community of God that is lovingly wrapping their arms around you. And if you don't feel that community, call me. Call somebody. Call somebody. Don't just sit there and think nobody loves me. Nobody. No, we're here. We're here. We need to tune in better. All right, now let's look at back. All right, back, we've done back. Let's look at hips. Hips are a place that people hold a lot of tightness and tension. I have heard stories where people open up the hips in yoga and then tears just flow. That's never happened to me because I don't think that's particularly where I let go. My intention is more in my upper body, but it's really interesting how your feelings and who you are is all connected to what's happening in your body. So we're going to do it on the mat first, hips were low. And we will then work in how you can do it lots of different ways and get back in the chair. So pigeon pose is an awesome stretch for hips. And pigeon pose is when you come to your all fours, right? And then you're going to take one leg forward on your mat. Yeah, and now some yogis think it should be parallel with the top of your mat. I tend to keep the heel in my hip crease of my other leg because that just doesn't feel good to my knee. But then you slide this foot back wherever it'll go. So I'm going to show you on both sides because I don't know that you can see it. Yeah. So this heel is going to be in the hip crease of my body, whereas some people have it more parallel, right? With the top of the mat. You do you and what feels right. Because you want to feel a stretch in the hip that is the hip that is actually the one where the leg is bending. So the trick here is you don't want to fall over to one side or the other. You want to be right square on it. And then you can rest the pigeon, or we could call it a dove. You can also put blocks and blankets and things to help yourself stay square. You can be proud with your pigeon. And then there's even people who can reach back and have a balanced pigeon. You can use straps and things to do that as well. Now keep on resting, Lillian. I'm going to show you just different ways to do that because that's not accessible to some folks. And so another thing is to stay on your bum, cross an ankle over a knee, under a knee, right? And then scoot your hips forward and you control the compression that you have in that hip that way. You don't have the body weight adding to the stretch when you do this, but you can control it more. And so again, I'll show both sides just so you can kind of see where we're going. And you're releasing tightness, hopefully, through this process through the hip. And then a third way on the floor to do it is to get on the back body and to take your ankle across over the leg and let this leg rest as you pull the thigh muscle towards the body. All right, Lillian, go ahead and come on up out of your pigeon. And when you come up out of your pigeon, you take the leg that's been compressed, Lillian, and draw some knee circles with that knee. And that kind of gets circulation feeling, back into that hip, go both ways. There you go. And then go ahead and set yourself up the way you want to do it on the other side, but I'll show a couple more options. If you have had your ankle over your knee, either on your back or on the floor, then you can uncross the legs and let your legs go side to side like ocean waves. or with little kids, I say you're turning and opening and closing your Bible, right? Boop, boop, boop. But you can see how that would work on your back or on your, and you can also take the knees, legs wide, and the knees can fall in, and that's just a variation on a theme. All right, so we're doing the opposite side now. So let me show you how you could just stay in your chair, because I know some of you are uncomfortable about getting up and down off of floor space, and that's okay. All right, you work the body that you have, and it's good. It's good. You ride the waves like Surfer Chick, right? You let your courage thicken and you do your thing. All right. So here we can do where you cross over, right? And if that doesn't work for you because you're really tight, you can keep the leg long to do it. Or you can cross lower on the leg. And of course, it won't be as the same amount of stretch in the hip, but we're getting there. And that's what's most important, right? Continue to take nice long breaths. All right, you can come out of it, Lillian. Go ahead and circle that knee as you are on your all fours, and then I'll just rock my knees back and forth, my legs back and forth, and that opens my hips as well. All right. Next week we're going to look at mindfulness and meditations. And then the next week after that, we're going to look at vagal nerve tips and how you can induce relaxation by, soothing the vagal nerve. We've already played a little bit with that when we did our eyeball thing, so that's very fun. And then our last practice, Lillian and Pastor Patty had that great idea that we would do that practice in silence. So we're working towards that. And so I'm thankful for this opportunity to explore with you all. And if there's something specific that you want to address in the next, 3 sessions, please let me know. The exit slip, I'll send it to you, Lillian, right after this. I think I made a copy of it, but I didn't send it with the link, but that went with the Zoom of the recording. So but please ask questions. I don't always remember to do the things I say that I'm going to do, so you make sure and catch me on that. And I also wanted to advertise that on May the 4th, I will be working at Our Savior Lutheran with the women of the ELCA. The WELCA group there has invited me to talk about how we all represent the body of Christ in the way that we're designed to, and that how we need to care for ourselves. So it's a $20 fee, but they will have Thrivent dollars to help support. So I encourage you to come. It'll be a fun Saturday, and it's in the West Columbia area. If those of you who that can work for where you live and and in your schedule, in your calendar. Okay, so now we're gonna do my favorite. We're gonna do the resting, and we're gonna do, it's called Viparita Karini, or legs up the wall. And this is so awesome for stress and anxiety, for waking up in the middle of the night, for it helps with aging process, it helps with edema, it helps with you name it. The laundry list of how this helps you is just unbelievable. So why I don't do it every day, I don't know. I'm like St. Paul, the things I know I should do, I don't get her done, right? I'm my own worst enemy. But this, honestly, if you just have 5 minutes, pop your legs up the wall or in a chair, or however the best way you can do it. So I'm going to show you. You will sidle up to the wall space if you're a floor person. I'll show you in the chair in just a minute. So if you have a chair, you can put your legs in the chair, or if you You can do this in the bed and put your legs on the headboard, but the idea is to rest the heart and have the legs higher. And so you're sidled up. My hips are up against the side of the wall. And then what I do is I'm going to flip around and let the wall support my legs. All right. And then my arms and my hands or just relax, like whenever I do relaxation, palms up, fingertips to the sky, so that you don't have any incoming information. That's why you don't have your hands down, because your fingertips are so sensitive. All right, that's one way to do it. Another way to do it is to get a sandbag or something to put up on their feet. Another way to do it is to strap the legs here so that they hold together as they're supported by the wall. You can also put blankets underneath the hips and lift up higher into the position, the shape. Right? It is actually called a mudra and not a yoga pose, which is interesting to me because mudras are about, working the energy of the body. All right, so as Lillian's getting that done, I'll gap just a little bit longer. So this chair option is that you can lay on the floor and put your legs in the chair. All right, so we can have the legs in the chair, right? Lifted, and then the body relaxed, like so. If it doesn't work for you to do this shape, do not fear, right? It's all good. If it's a simple way for you to find peace and calm, then you add it into your repertoire. But like I said, you could get on your bed if you can, saddle up to your bed and just shift around to where you maybe use the headboard or the wall in your bed. It's really good if you wake up in the middle of the night as a way to calm. But you also remember Lillian's trick about, tapping the legs if you wake up in the middle of the night. And I don't think it works very well to play music on Zoom, but I still thought I would try it because I heard a really cool song this week by Sam Baker, and it's called Go in Peace. So if you'll humor my efforts, and I'll just send you the link for the song too. And if it doesn't come through, Lillian, that's all right.
Okay.
We'll just roll with it. I think music through Zooms is a hit or miss kind of thing.
Go in peace, go in kindness, go in love, go in faith. Leave the day behind us. Day is done. Go in grace. Let us go into the dark, not afraid, not alone. Let us hope by some good pleasure safely to arrive at home. Let us hope by some good pleasure safely to arrive at home.
The lyrics were go in peace, go in kindness, go in love, Go in faith. Leave the day behind us. Day is done. Go in grace. Let us go into the dark, not afraid and not alone. Let us hope by some good pleasure safely to arrive at home. An old emotional scar that I was certain had healed broke open unexpectedly yesterday. And as soon as it did, all the old ghosts that haunted me at the time of my wounding came to pay me a most unwelcome visit. Shame, fear, guilt, despair. They all arrived to have a graveyard picnic on my heart. Not take long for me to fracture like a fancy dinner plate, bouncing on a concrete patio. And while I was sitting there in pieces, I found myself reciting the lines to this poem or prayer I wrote myself on that day when I received that old scar. If you're finding yourself a bit fractured today, I hope these words holds you for a bit as they did me. I love you. Hey, God. Hey, my love. I'm about to break. Why do you think that is? Life just keeps getting harder. Then you need to become softer. Huh? Here's the thing, says God. Glass is hard, but it can shatter easily when dropped. Rock is hard, but it can be broken quickly with a drill. Gold is hard, but it can be melted in a blazing fire. So don't be so hard that you break down so easily. Be soft, like wet clay, in the hands of a potter. Be soft like river water in the summer. Be soft like the breeze through a row of tall pines. All of those things survive no matter what happens to them. They endure because they haven't built their existence out of hard materials. Be soft with other people. Don't break them with your words, and don't let them break you with theirs. Be soft with yourself. Your heart is more marshmallow than metal. Your soul is wrapped in the softest of fabrics for a reason. The softer you become, the more you understand how precious all life is. Be more of cotton than you are of concrete. Love isn't cold granite. Love is shapeless. Love is like ocean water gently passing through your toes. In a world where the hardness of diamonds helps determine its worth, don't become one yourself. Be so soft that nothing can break you. A poem by John Rodell.
That was lovely.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
All right, we'll take one big breath in wherever you are, and we'll sing this great song that we sing at church. And again, this song may not come through, so I'll try to post it. But the song is, I'm gonna forget. It's You are the potter, and I am the clay. Mold me and make me, this is what I pray. Take my heart, oh God, make it ever true. Take my heart, oh God, may I be like you. So it's take my heart, oh God, make it ever true. Take my heart, oh God, may I be like you. Amen and namaste.
Amen. Thank you so much. Thank you,
Yay.
Samantha.
All right, take a note about how you feel. I'll send the exit slip. All of you who are watching later on, peace and blessings to you guys as well. Please ask questions and let us know how we can be helpful, okay? Thank you, thank you.